What's going on, AfterBuzzers? Tonight we're breaking down 2 episodes and 4 cases, and we got a special guest in house. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
I still can't jam to this.
No,
I try really hard every time.
Very serious tone we got going on, but for 2 very serious episodes.
Yeah.
So, of course, if you thought 3 cases were confusing, now we have 4 cases to break down. And we have a special guest for you guys. Again, I'm Olivia Gabaree. You can hit me up on Instagram and Twitter, _O_G.
And I am Candace Cruz, and you can find me on all my social media at Candace R. Cruz. And we have a special guest in the house. Why don't you introduce yourself, sir?
How you doing? I'm DaJuan Johnson, and I play Detective Pierce on Bosch. Yeah.
These episodes were like hot and heavy on you. You're in it right now.
You mean me, not Irving, right?
Right. Well, he was hot and heavy. We were talking about that earlier right before it came on. I mean, Irving did get.
This is a great couple episodes for me. The whole season has been great. It's been a really great show.
Yeah, well, we're lucky to have you. Thanks for coming in.
Oh, I feel so great. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, so chime in at all times.
Anytime.
You're a guest host. You're all in it. Like,
excuse me.
hold on.
This is my
This is
show.
actually how it happened here.
Here's what happened.
Well, fortunately for us, this makes it easy that you're here because you were all over these episodes.
Yeah.
Especially, we opened up episode 7 with Bosch's meeting with Internal Affairs, and this takes us back to the original case that he had with the serial killer. And the serial killer was caught because of you.
Yes. Well,
Kudos.
Throwback.
definitely
Good job.
back in the pilot in season 1. It's so funny to hear you call him serial killer because it's just Jason and me.
Yeah.
You know? Yes, but that was an awesome episode. A lot of fun to shoot. We shot that up until about like 3 or 4 in the morning. So I remember at 2 o'clock making the arrest, and then we had to do it again and again and again. So,
Really?
yeah.
How many takes did you have to do?
Well, listen. I mean, you know, I'm not gonna say it was my fault we had to do all those takes. No, I was kidding.
But it was, right?
But it was. There might have been some handcuffs that I couldn't get on. But no, we did it. It was just more so, you know, they do a lot of aerial shots, a lot of like coverage of it. They had to get, you know, Jason's mine. You know, Robbie is George Irvin's son.
Yes.
So I just call him Robbie. It's gonna be a problem for me because I know them by name, and so not their character names. So I'm just gonna be working on that. So if I say something, you're like, who is that?
We'll help you out.
Thank you. You got me?
Yes,
And just
I
get into
got you.
IMDb and you're good.
You're good.
Just pull
You're
up and
good
you're
at
like,
all.
okay, yes.
Yes. I think, you know, one thing that I will say that you all might not know, I don't know if this is like spilling secrets or anything like that, but a little fun fact about that scene or that pilot part of it is we had to shoot that again. We shot that like earlier in the season when we were shooting the pilot earlier, and then we had to come back and shoot it. So
Wait,
How
why?
come?
I just, you know, nothing like that. It was just, I think, it was nothing like really like scandalous about it or anything like that. I think, I misquoted, I think they just wanted it to be amped up a little bit because it's the case for the whole season. And I think instead of just being a routine stop, I think they wanted it to make it just a little bit more amped up. And I think they achieved that. I think that when that arrest came, you know, I pull out the gun and I'm yelling and all that stuff. It just is a really great scene. I think the way it came out.
I mean, did you realize that you pulling over that guy was going to lead to like all of this now in season 3?
No, do you mean like Officer Pierce and moving on?
Yeah.
I had no idea because you know, in the very beginning when the pilot happened, when Bosch, we find the body, that was my only scene. You know, in the pilot, you know, that was my only scene, and I like to tell the story that I came from uniform officer, like, do you know what I mean? That was my.
And then you got a name.
And then I got a name, and I moved up and stuff. And I think it's just a testament to just, you know, what these awesome writers and Michael Connelly, he's fantastic. They were doing. You know, I just went in and I delivered. You know, I'm sorry, I just was patting myself on the back.
You totally can.
We got you.
You know, and they just kept me around, and it was really good. And I'm so humbled and excited to be working on that. So I didn't know that it would end here or end up here, but I'm so happy it did because it's a great family.
Can you tell us a little bit of the behind the scenes work that you had to do to become like a cop?
Yeah, I can. You know, first I put on the uniform. and then I put on my oh, you didn't mean that. No, do you know what the really cool thing is? We have some on-set consultants that are there that are really awesome. And, you know, I was telling you about the 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm sorry, I'm confusing it. I said pilot, but I meant episode. It would be 2, but it's 1 when the rest happens. The pilot was different. But that really help us with like weapons training, how to pull the gun, what are you looking for? You never, you know, how do you walk around, you know, just to make sure everything is very authentic, and they're really good and awesome with that, because I play an officer or detective on TV. I have no idea how to do that stuff. I do now, and so that's been really kind of cool, just learning this stuff and then making sure we get it right. So yeah.
That's what I love about Bosch is it's like very authentic. Like I think we've said that even from like the first time we started hosting this, is that everything's very like authentic. It doesn't feel like too
cheesy.
No. Yeah, it's very much like, and they put a lot of LA stuff. We were talking about that too. Man. Like they really hit LA home. They,
so
like, really
how do they shoot it in the streets of LA? Do they have to like block off large portions? Wow. As if there's not enough traffic
ever.
Yep. That episode, again, to go back to when we were doing the arrest, I remember it's in a place in Echo Park. Echo Park area, Silver Lake area. Yeah. I'm not really sure. We kind of just were there. And I remember like just blocking off certain parts of the like, thing, and people were just like not happy about it.
Not like you.
Well, but I, you know what I have to say? I have to say that we live in LA. Like, do you know what I mean? And so it's we're in a tinsel town. Like, do you know what I mean? And you expect that. That was actually one of the reasons I moved here. I remember getting the butterflies when I came to visit LA, and I saw that they were shooting in different places, and I was just like, they're shooting. This is so
cool.
It's kind of awesome. And so, you know, Michael Connelly, you know, I think he, and the writers and producers, the city is its own character here. You know what I mean? And
Very
so, yeah, one of the fans tweeted me like, I feel like if I went to LA that I would know my way around. I would know places, and that's true. You know, you would really know your way around because all the awesome like places they go, Moose and Frank, or you know the monuments, and you know downtown, and like you're saying, Echo Park, and all that stuff. So I love it.
I even love when they name off the street names because I'm like, oh yeah, I went down that yesterday.
He's like
or
Studio City, Vineland, and Cahuenga. I'm like,
oh,
I'm there.
It is.
They said DeLongpre today, and I was like, oh, is that how you say it? Because I've been saying DeLongpre forever.
Yeah. We had to drive on those, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, of course, movie magic, but there's also like cops ahead of us. Do you know what I mean? And there's fake cars. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can so like 5 or 6 fake cars, so it looks like we're still in traffic, but it's all controlled and really awesome. They got it down to a science, and I have to say that you feel safe on set. You feel like I learned new parts of LA through that. Through
I
just
bet.
going, I was like, oh, I didn't know this was.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's really cool there. So.
I mean, they did great coverage for Bosch. Like everywhere I went in LA. For like right when it was getting ready to come out, it was everywhere.
We were making a joke because in one of the episodes, Bosch talks about how great the pancakes are to Dupar's.
Yeah.
And ironically enough, right across from Dupar's is a big ass billboard for Bosch. And I was like, oh.
Was that by the Grove?
Yes.
Is that over by the area? Yeah. And
So
if anybody
funny.
if you flew during that time, I want to say yay, because it was on every screen and every
you were
terminal.
saying
I
that.
was, because I was traveling
Yeah.
internationally, and I'm going to tweet out that video after this, because it literally is just like all the way through. And then even in the bookstores.
Yeah.
Like they did down to the T. Like the bookstores had all Michael Connelly's books.
Yeah.
It was everywhere.
It's a great show, so they
Yeah,
just had to
it is.
promote it. That's what I say.
Yep. And here we are, season 3.
All
And
right.
it's so funny because the first incident that happened in season 1, we're still tied into it later in season 3.
Yeah.
So the internal affairs meeting didn't really go well, but of course,
You're
as
being
we
nice.
predicted.
You're being nice.
I don't know. I feel bad for Bosch. I feel like everybody always gives him a hard time. Nobody really. I mean, the higher ups give him the benefit of the doubt, but I feel like his peers sort of.
I think
are
they
a
envy
little-
him secretly.
Yeah, they're a little
Secretly.
jealous of him because he gets by with so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like Bosch kind of took you or Pierce under his wing in the last few episodes, and probably to his own agenda, in a sense. But I still feel like he kind of brought you under his wing a little bit.
He did. I think
Yeah.
so. I think it happened, to be completely honest, before season 1 and season 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
just this season. I have a kinship. I have a very I'm loyal to Bosch. You know what I mean? It started back in the police alley where he pulls me aside
and he advised
right,
you.
and and he's just like he's like I got you. We'll figure this out. And it led to the big case where Irvin's son went our separate ways.
Yeah.
In there. But I agree in this one, and it's really hard for me to, I don't want to say turn on him, but to believe that he's a bad guy. I mean, my new partner kind of smells something like in the state of Denmark.
I mean, you even called him out in the car. You said, you have some tendencies and then he cuts you off.
Cuts me off.
Yeah.
So I do think that, but I think I believe in him. I believe in Bosch. I believe that he's a good guy, and and I don't see the same things that Robertson sees.
I think
Right.
you and maybe 5 other people feel the same way, and the rest of them don't.
Maybe it might be.
Maybe too.
Maybe, and those 5 people.
and Billets.
I was gonna say, you might be right on 5. I was gonna say Billets and Crate and Barrel because they and then me. So right.
That's it.
Everybody else is like shady.
Yeah, and it's probably hard for you, especially within the gun case, because Robertson wants it to be about Bosch so badly, and I feel like being Robertson's right-hand man, it might be kind of hard because you aren't necessarily seeing the same things as he is.
Yeah.
So to segue into the gun case, now we have Jesse's fingerprints showing up at the scene, and the bartender possibly ID'd him as the person who was drinking with gun the same night he was killed. So Robertson and Pierce go after Jesse and kind of trick him into coming
You
to
guys
their
were
side
pretty
a little
sly,
bit.
not gonna lie. Like that full on. You can drive yourself. Yeah, we'll just follow you.
That was such a fun episode to shoot as well because by this point in the season, Robertson and I, or Paul, had become such great friends, and we were just vibing off of each other by that point, and we were just playing like, you should just, no, I don't think that's fun. We're going back and forth. I was like, it'd be really good in some ways, and we were just playing good cop, bad cop, kind of thing. Like, you should go, yeah, I think you should do that. And then Jesse, is just sitting there. He's just like, okay, I'm gonna go. You know what I mean?
Like, all right. It's so funny because I don't know, you're such a fun and happy person. The way you speak about Paul, it seems like he is too, but you play such serious, very serious characters. So
you should see Instagram, because I Instagram that whole time, with just to document it. And there'd be a lot of things where I'm like, Paul, I'm on Instagram. Come on. And he's just like, what are you doing? But he's so he became honestly like a big brother. Like a mentor, big brother, and I think he is very serious, but I think our energies kind of balance it out, and I would always just be snapping pictures of him, and he's like, send this to me. With
that wonderful voice.
And I dropped into
got
him.
a great voice.
Oh man, he's great. He's great. He's great. And whenever I get stuck on set, I'd be like, Paul, how do I? And he's like, this is what you might try. You know what I mean? Just so great. And I was open to it, and he was willing to help me out and stuff. So it's great. It's a good time.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, you're saying Robertson.
No, good.
And,
No, we love the insights.
The insights.
All of it. Because we're getting behind the scenes here.
It's good.
Yes.
Inside looks.
So Robertson and Pierce are playing up this situation a little bit. They want to give Jesse the feeling like he's in control.
Right.
So he's vulnerable to giving up some info. And to be honest, I didn't really understand where you guys were going with this one, but it turns out they just wanted to get him in the station so they can get his watch for
Right.
DNA.
And the
That's what we
DNA.
needed.
You were slick too.
Yeah.
Pierce was slick, just getting that off. Just 1, 2, done. 1, 2, done.
Yeah, there was like a little agenda that they had going on there because again, we needed the watch because the watch was what choked Gunn out, and Gunn had the marks on his neck, so
bezels, bangles, and bezels are. I can't remember. That's the word for the watch thing, and it's,
whatever those are.
It's we kept messing those lines up, but we got it, and so we had to get that watch, and that was the goal, to get him in there and hear his story. But if you remember that scene, I mean, he was verbatim. Like he was, it was like he was. I mean, not just the actor, but Jesse was. He knew exactly what he was gonna say.
He knew his story.
He knew his story, and he was sticking to it. And it was really just like watching it, not just acting it, but watching it. He was great. He was great at what he was doing. I was like, oh, this is a sneaky little guy.
You were falling for it.
I was falling for it. Pierce wasn't, because I was back there and I knew we had a. So. an agenda.
Well,
And then the brother comes along.
yeah,
I loved that one
Rudy
shot.
won't give it up.
No.
And he's just getting on my nerves. Jesse,
He's gotten on my nerves since the first season. Let's be honest.
I mean, it seems like Jesse is his pet, and
Yeah.
the way everyone speaks of it, it seems like Jesse really looks up to him, and he wish he could have been a cop like his brother.
Right.
I mean, he knows
right.
all the calls, like all the different like codes.
187
and whatnot.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so Rudy comes to his rescue because he feels like Jesse might spill the beans and can't really stick up for himself. And obviously, Rudy has an invested interest in this because he's not only a part of it, but he has major beef with Bosch from the beginning.
Yeah.
So,
But he caught on quick, though. I mean, obviously he was a former cop, so I mean he's gonna catch on quick. But there was the shot. I think it was after they let the brother go that he pulled over and like checked and took his watch off.
Yeah.
He caught on real quick.
So, okay, I might be telling too much here.
Okay.
Again, but that scene right before that, when we're all in the break room and he's saying, "Let my brother go" and things like that. I think it was cut, but you know, the original thing was we go in there and we do a little. I'll see if I can get it to the camera. We do Rudy standing right there, and we do a little like eyes go down to his watch, and we kind of do a little like at each other, and he sees us do that, and he's kind of like
I wish they would have kept that.
so it made it like he understood
Yeah.
that we saw the watch,
Yep.
and that was the watch you know what I mean, and then you see him drive over and like ditch that whole thing. So it probably was too on the nose, like, do you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
we're all like so it didn't play. You know, you do so many different takes of it. They probably looked at that in editing and was just like, you're just, you don't want to make it cheesy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like you guys were
exactly.
saying. You
so
know,
it was a tasteful decision
Right.
to leave
Yeah.
it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously you guys couldn't hold Jesse any longer because you didn't really have anything against him
No.
at that point. But just to cut a little bit later in the episode, Bosch wanted to get rid of the footage, pretty much not have his fingerprints on it, so to speak.
Is this 7 or 8? This is 8.
This is 8, but
Yes.
just to stick with the
We're
case.
jumping
of
a
course.
little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. We got 2.
So he goes to this person, Mark, who he kind of has blackmail on. So Mark has no choice but to help him with this. And now, I don't know if I missed something. This wasn't clear to me. Hopefully you guys can help me out. But it got leaked to the press. Was that Bosch's decision to have it leaked to the press?
Yes.
Yes.
Because
Okay.
he met up with him, gave him the envelope, and then the guy like wiped all the tracing, everything,
Right.
sent it to someone within the news. I think it was
Scott
With the
something
LA
with the LA
Times.
Yes,
Times.
LA Times.
Yeah.
But even your partner calls it out. He's like, whoever sent this is a smoker.
Yeah.
Because he was sitting on the bench with the guy that was smoking.
Yeah. He's got
So
the
detailed.
nose.
Put it all together.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and Robertson says in there, he's like, I know Bosch did this. Right.
Right.
He knew, yeah.
He's
But
like
I
a
mean-
dog with a bone.
But I feel like, how hard would it be for Bosch? This whole time, he knows good and well who did all of this because he's
Right.
got the video footage, but he has to like kind of help you guys along and string you guys along so he doesn't
And
get in
not give
trouble
too
with
much
it. Right.
because
Then it would be obvious.
well, you'll see a lot of it. I think, in the beginning of 7, like you were saying, Bosch said something and Robertson's like, do you know something? Or is that a hunch? Like he keeps
Yeah.
like, he's
Yeah.
like, it's like, you know a little too much or you're pushing a little too much in this direction.
In one direction, yeah.
Yeah. And then here comes me, Pierce, and he's like, do this. And I'm like, really? I'll do it. And I don't, I
You're
didn't
just
put
like
it
an eager
together.
puppy. You're like, yes, okay, all
It was
right.
my
I'll
first
do it.
case.
Yeah.
So,
wanna
I'm
do well.
on the beat. I mean, it's different, when I was in Blues, but it's my first case as a detective, and so I really wanted to do well. And I don't want to say prove myself, but in an essence,
Yeah.
prove myself in that way,
course.
Even
so.
if it means tracking down an owl for hours on end,
Owls.
Owls, man.
That painted owl.
Yeah, so Robertson knew better and obviously knew Bosch had something to do with it.
Yeah.
We had the scene when you guys were on the roof and you could kind of see the angle of the camera where it was coming from. But regardless, whether it came from Bosch or whoever, now we know for sure that Jesse was on that tape and he was
He was an accomplice.
essentially the one, if not the one, an accomplice to whoever did kill Gunn.
Well, I mean, I kind of feel like now that we're talking about the watch, though, I feel like it was 100% Rudy that actually did the act of the chokehold and did whatever. Because if it wasn't Jesse's watch,
Right. It had
then
to
it
be
had to have
someone
been
else's.
Rudy's.
I don't know.
You can't tell us yet. No, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. We'll find out.
I don't know. You still got 2 more episodes after
I
this,
know.
so I don't know.
Only 2 though.
Only
We got a
2.
lot of
A lot of
loose
juice
ends to tie up
Yeah.
here.
Oh man, it's We haven't even got to the end of 8 yet. Let's just keep going. Because I want to talk about 8.
Okay, so Holland, I mean, it's pretty obvious that Holland is involved in this entire thing. He was scared that Jesse was going to spill the beans. And you could see him talking with Rudy about this. Yeah. And meanwhile, Rudy's giving his eyes to his girlfriend back there. I can't even believe they're together. Like, why are they together? But,
Marissa.
Marissa.
Oh, Marissa.
Come on.
Then also to skip to Holland's case, now we don't really have anything because all of the witnesses have been like disappearing, thrown out, whatever. And now not even Bosch can testify to his conversation with Holland because Holland's attorney pretty much made it invalid when they were talking to the judge.
Yeah, and
or
now
Sabrina,
they're trying to
the
plea.
Teenage witch's aunt, as I like to call her.
Oh yeah, we did talk about that. Yeah.
She was in that show.
She was in that one show like way back in the 90s.
I love that show. No,
that was my jam.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now that Annabelle was her name, right?
Yeah, Annabelle's gone.
disappeared, so she's gone.
Yeah.
Now
Europe,
Bosch,
I think.
Yes,
Yes, shooting a show.
on her new show, and Bosch can't speak to this anymore. And now Anita's forced to make a deal, and O'Shea's forcing her to make a deal, which kind of seems fishy
O'Shea
to
hates
me.
Bosch though.
I know,
Yeah.
but he's really pushing her to just give it up and make a deal.
Well, I feel like he might be in on it in some way.
I feel like he might be too because he's a very sketchy guy.
I mean, he already lost Mayor. Like he's lost everything.
He's 17
Hold on. Okay, so this is a little clue. Okay, hold on.
I know. There's just a lot.
Has to be,
There's just a
because
lot.
he's such a shady guy, as you know, in the original case with the serial killer. Pretty much all of it's his fault, just because he needed his time to shine.
Yeah.
And he ended up messing up the whole case, releasing a serial killer to kill all these innocent people, just because he needed that tape.
I think you have some.
You're not over that. I was gonna say you're not over that. I don't feel like you're not over.
I'm not
You felt
gonna
that?
get
I was
racial.
like, oh, you're not over that.
He's a shady guy, and now he's about to mess some more.
Come
He was
on.
gonna take Anita too. I mean, we saw them in the booth.
I'm so over him. But he just wants to make I feel like he'll do anything to get a rise out of Bosch. But
course he
Richard,
is.
we're talking about, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yes. Who also is another great guy. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
in real life, I'm just
Yes,
not
yes, yes.
throwing shade at his character.
I love him.
I don't know, and also Anita's being pretty shady to Bosch as well. Their phone conversation wasn't exactly.
It's a little short.
Yeah.
Well, don't you think she's kind of fed up? Like, she's kind of like, she's kind of just been, last, 6-7 episodes, has been on his side and pushing for him, and now she has nothing at this point.
At his,
I guess
and
I would
from
be
her,
frustrated.
Yeah.
But from her perspective, like, he's the one that's screwing all this up.
Yeah.
Even though it's because of everyone else putting him in that position, but still, like.
I know, it's hard because we see everything from Bosch's perspective, so obviously I'm on his team.
I mean, you love him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
the show is designed to make me love him. So anyone that's mean to Bosch is not a cool person.
Side
in my
note:
book.
how is Bosch? Like, how is he?
Titus?
Yes, how is Titus?
He's so mean. I don't think he is the meanest guy you will ever meet and work with on set.
I don't know why I
mean
wanted to
that.
call him Harry, but that's because his
Harry
name
Bosch.
is Harry Bosch.
Titus
But I was like,
is, if you're watching this, Titus, you are mean. And I say that because he is actually the sweetest guy you will ever meet.
Yeah,
He's been
really.
sweet to me since the first episode, like when we shot the pilot. This season again, it just like I said, they became my brothers. They just started like teasing me the whole time because I am, as they put it, I'm cinematically bankrupt.
What does that even mean?
What does that even mean? All right. Well, what I'll tell you is that they love cinema on that show.
Yeah.
And Titus, and Paul, they would just get into these like worlds and they start talking about old movies and quoting them and stuff like that. And they were like, they said one time they were like, I wouldn't get in because I didn't know a lot of the movies.
Right.
And they said something to the effect of like Spartacus, and I was like, I've watched Spartacus. I saw it a couple years ago on Stars. Crickets. Crickets. Everybody just like
Not
kind of
that.
like turned to me and they were like, no. So, just so you all know, there's another Spartacus. There's
original.
There's an original, and like from that point on, I just got teased, and that's why I say Titus is mean, because they just like would just like get on me. But I have a list of movies I have to watch before hopefully I come back for season 4. They gave me a list of like Godfathers, Deliverance, and just like all these movies. So he's great. He's funny on set, and I think it sets the tone for the whole entire like cast and crew and everything like that, because your number one is so awesome, you know, and he's so caring. He talks. I mean, he's just great. He's not like one of those people you hear about on set. He's just great. I can go on about him, you know. So if you didn't get to this point, make sure you know he's mean and there's a story. Like, if you're skipping around,
That's
is that
not
the
how
quote?
it works.
Is that
We'll sub-clip you saying he's so mean, and that's going to be on
and that's the thing. That's gonna be the Bosch is so mean. I'm like, so.
DaJuan says Titus will
just gonna drink more. It is wine day.
I'm writing my press release right now.
You're right, the press release. It says wine day, and there's no wine in here.
Oh,
so.
it is? Excuse me.
And it's International Iced Coffee Day,
National Wine
Oh,
Day.
Dunkin's usually gives out free ones on that day.
Well, I missed
Yum.
that day then.
Wow.
So,
I know what I'm doing after this.
Coffee and wine,
Yes.
mix them together.
I'm gonna tweet Titus right now, just in case. This is where you write your press release.
Yeah, tweet him and be like,
Just
hey,
give him a
listen,
force
they're
heads
lying.
up. Never happened.
don't listen to him.
Good God.
Yeah, well, we're gonna definitely see. We have to see more of you because this case is obviously still open and still going on.
Yeah.
We don't. No one has been charged with it yet, but we obviously have an idea that Jesse was an accomplice, and whoever was with him obviously must have done it. And to skip to the third case,
keep drinking.
now-
Almost out of water.
yeah. On the third case, we're gonna go to the Meadows case.
Okay.
So, as we knew, Woody was pretty much stalking Bosch, and his pot smoking got in his way once again because his roach was found in front of Bosch's house, and his DNA gave up the fact that it was Woody. Dun dun dun. And so
I feel
now,
like we need some
I don't know what to
Dun-dun.
say here because. You know, there's more about this story, so I'll let you take the
yeah.
lead on this,
Okay.
Yeah, you have
and
to
then I'll
remember
go in
what
a
we
second.
know.
Right, I'll find out what you know.
You
First.
have your Post-its, though. Where are those Post-its?
I thought we weren't going to talk about the Post-its. I mean,
Oh, did we just
gonna
start
talk
under the
about them, but you threw me under the bus.
And what
I'll
color are those Post-its?
listen. So just in case, I always like to be prepared. I'm like a Boy Scout, and so I had some Post-its where I was watching some of the episodes and I took notes again.
but this is amazing. Like, a guest has never done this for me before.
It's great. I love it.
I'm impressed. Like, I'm happy that you did this.
I just the lines between Pierce and DaJuan, they kind of just blend and they mesh because Pierce wants to do a great job and I love
Yes.
doing a great job too. So I don't want to come on your awesome show and be like, what are they talking about?
I love
Which
that.
episode?
Thank you.
Which
wasn't-
episode
oh,
are we in? And I just
exactly.
sit over here, and so I watched them. You know, we shot them. I watched them back in April, and it kind of blends for me because
Yeah.
you're watching them and you're binging. And I was
Right.
like, all right, let me go back through 7 and 8 and make sure I didn't want to spill anything. I didn't want to tell
Yeah, you
something.
have to remember
I have to
what we
remember
know.
because as Candace was saying, you guys
Yeah.
have only watched up to
8 to 8.
8, and so you don't know 9 and 10. So I really wanted to be clear about that. So this isn't pink. This is the camera is doing something weird to the Post-it note. So
It's peach.
It's
Even that.
like. So we're in
Well,
Meadows.
Woody
Woody Woodrow.
Yeah, so Woody, we found his roach, knew it's Woody,
Mm.
and so Grace gave them permission to kind of tail him and
Yeah.
figure out where he's at because he's always on these elaborate surf trips. We never really know where he is, but
And they have their money. Like, they're on their way out.
well, yeah, of course they have
Yeah.
loads of money.
Loads of money.
But Edgar went to go get a coffee, and he ended up running into Woody by mistake, and it caught them both off guard because as soon as Woody saw Edgar, he drew for his gun, and Edgar kind of had no choice but to shoot back.
Yeah.
I think it was just like, I love being able to see this part of J. Edgar because I mean, if you flash back, we're still going back and forth to season 1. That's like kudos to the writers that they like keep such a fluidity between it. But like, he's not going through what Bosch went through first episode,
Right.
And I love to see the partnership like grow because of it. Because I mean, they already had a rough patch through this season with J. Edgar and Bosch, and
The
now
trust was kind of broken.
you know, it's back together again. I feel
I thought that was
like
beautiful.
Yeah, it was
That
a
was beautiful the way they were like, you know,
beautiful
like
love,
I
yeah.
can't, you know, and gosh, I'm trying not to remember what you don't know, but like there was a part where they were just like, you know, against each other. Looks like a little bit,
Yes.
and then in 7 or in 8, you just see them sitting next to each other on the couch, like,
And
do you know what I mean?
yeah.
And it just talking, and I thought that was a great, you know, bringing it back in. But then you saw J. Edgar calling Mark, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Wait, am I too far?
No,
am I too
no,
far?
that's it. We're in episode
Right,
8,
you saw him calling Mark, so you were like, wait,
Yeah. it's
what's
kinda
up? I thought you
shady.
loved him again. So I don't.
I know.
It's like
so juicy.
Bosch is here for him because obviously now he's going through something that Bosch had already been
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for Edgar because I do obviously, and that's like a split-second decision that you have to make right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
You see someone grabbing for their gun, you know, whether
what else
you know
would you
it's a gun or
do?
not,
Yeah.
you have to act fast or else,
Yeah.
you know, a second matters in a situation like that. But during that scene, I was thinking like, oh geez, what if he was grabbing his phone or something? We can't really see a gun, but luckily,
Yeah.
I mean, not really luckily, but luckily when he fell back, you saw the gun actually fall out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he was kind of safe in that way, but
I
Internal
almost-
Affairs is still giving me a hard time about it because it's like, well, how did you know he had a gun?
Yeah.
Right. They kept questioning him like way too much. Like they kept asking the same
Do you
question.
think it's because he's Bosch adjacent?
Yeah,
Probably.
No,
But
this is what they have to do. They
Yeah,
have,
of
they have
course.
to question and talk about it.
I feel like I even loved, I mean, kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but it's still along the same lines, when he had to have that conversation with his sons. It
Yeah.
broke my heart. to
Wait,
see-
his sons are. First of all, his son's a whiz, the one that's like stealing
Yeah.
Wi-Fi
yeah.
from the
yeah.
news.
to get the
Was that
Rosetta
Jack?
Stone.
Was that Jack that was in it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
to learn
Yeah.
another language.
Yeah.
Like
Like
I would
three.
be like, fine, you could steal the
Yeah, I was gonna
internet.
say, it was like
three.
three.
It
It
was like Chinese or Mandarin. I think it was
Chinese.
Mandarin.
It was
Yes,
Chinese.
yes, and Russian,
And
then
Celtic.
yeah,
Celtic or
Was
Was
something?
it Gaelic?
Gaelic.
Which my stepmom's Irish, so it's like that's it's not like a commonly used language. I get that,
Attaboy.
you know, like
Attaboy.
he's an overachiever.
amazing.
Yes, but just like him talking to his kids and like even like why didn't you shoot him in the arm, Dad? Like why did
Yeah.
you have to kill him? Like
Yeah.
why? And even asking like what he looked like. It just
Yeah.
I thought that the end of that scene was great
Yeah.
with Latanya, his wife, and she just sits there and she's like, "Are you mad?" Do you know what I mean? And then she's like, "I want my kids to grow up with a father." Do you know what I mean? Like that moment, and I was just like, you know, being a dad myself, I was like, "Come on, J. Edgar." You know what I mean?
But yeah, that's something you have to be worried about.
do.
Like
And
100%,
During
always.
that scene, I kept looking at her because you couldn't really read how
her.
she was
No.
feeling in that moment. I
what a
was
great-
like, is she mad? Is she sympathetic? I couldn't really tell, but
Because
of
they're
course-
divorced, right?
Yes.
Yes, yeah, they are divorced.
And I
So-
think she always kind of gave him a hard time about his commitment to his job, and obviously this is just the cherry.
It's an
on
old fight.
top.
It's an old
Yeah,
fight.
it's been going on for a
yeah.
while. Now it just has a little bit more validity to
Yes.
the fight. Yeah.
It does.
And
Yeah.
so looking further into this, Woody's dead, and now Bosch is concerned for Edgar's safety because he doesn't know if
Rightly so.
his unit is going to retaliate. And
Yeah.
they're looking further into this, and obviously now it's known that the police are onto them, so
They're in the
Moreno
wind. Yeah.
and Dobbs have to get lost.
I think you're missing one little special part. Don't
What's
forget
that?
when the boys leave, they give Dad the science fair pen.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you see
No.
that?
Yes,
And so they
yes.
give Dad. They're like, you know, at the end on the way
Yeah.
they're walking out, they give him a little pen he's looking at, and it says science fair. I won't talk about that until you tell me to, but that's very important. That
He
part.
was wearing it.
So when
I
he
did
at
notice
the
that
end of
after.
8, when he's reaching, we'll just say.
I saw
Yeah.
it.
He's reaching for
the
the pen, which is very important.
Oh,
So
I saw. I
You missed
knew,
that.
I
You-
couldn't tell what he
Right.
was reaching for because
Yeah.
I missed the part where the kids gave. it to
I
him.
almost thought that's weird because I almost thought it was because Bosch goes into skipping forward talking about Dobbs. So he goes to Dobbs's house and finds like a coin in that little like
I thought that was a chip
was
or
it a
something
chip?
like
It was
that
something,
in
I
the
couldn't
light
tell,
in
but
the
it was dark.
yeah
in the little light fixture or whatever. He
whatever
pulls it
that
out.
is.
Yeah,
I
the
think
outlet.
it's the outlet. That's
There you
what
go.
it's called.
That's the word.
I think that was a chip or something like that. I can't
Was it
remember.
okay?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that for some odd reason I thought it was that.
No,
But
that's.
okay, that
I
makes
feel
sense,
like
yeah.
that's gonna be a clue for us. The
Did
little-
that pin save his life? Like, did the
I
bullet
don't know
hit
where we're
that?
at. I don't know where we're at. No, because he gets shot with the bullet.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
already
yeah.
got
But
shot.
yeah, he got shot. Oh, so he got shot. If you haven't got
Just jumping ahead. I mean,
I didn't-
clearly.
Oh, cat's out of the bag.
We'll get to how he got
in
shot
episode
later,
7 and 8, we're talking about that. We're still within the parameters of it.
there.
But when he's reaching for, if he's down
pen,
on the
yeah.
ground, that's the, he's reaching for the pen there. So I think that's really cool because that's his son's pen. He's going for it. And let me tell you, when I was reading the script, I was like, leave the pen alone! because
You'll get it later.
Because he's coming behind. And like,
Yes.
just like you guys are doing this right now, when you do, you read the episodes by episodes, that's the way we were getting the scripts. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The way I was getting the scripts. So I finished 8 and I was like, well, you read 8 and I was like, where I need 9 now.
Yes. I'm gonna
know
go
what
home and watch
happens.
9 tonight because I was trying really hard not to watch 9
Right.
after that happened. I literally screamed at my
no
computer
way.
going, "What?"
There's no way. There's no way if you're a fan and you're watching 7, you're binging and you're like, I'm gonna go to bed after 8. Once 8 happens, you
Gotta
will
go.
stay on and you will watch.
Yeah, you
that.
have to.
Yeah.
And now we were kind of foreshadowing this moment a little bit earlier in the season because it was apparent to us that they were snipers and they were actively practicing. So obviously his shot is still on point and he was able to shoot Edgar from afar and we see how far away he actually is. So when Edgar is reaching for that pin, the target is like right on him, ready to go.
He's special forces.
Yeah.
Not
Moreno was.
Yes,
Moreno,
Papi.
yes.
Or as Crate and Barrel say, Chavi.
They are so good.
They are so amazing
good. Like
together.
the comic relief is great.
It
but
is
like,
so good. I just remember him one day on set talking about the eye pappy. Like, you know what I mean? He was like, and we found the eye pappy, and I was like, and I just thought it was such a clever moment for the actor. And he's like, I wouldn't know how to say, eye pappy or what all that stuff. And it was just a really those
Eye
guys.
pappy.
Yeah, and it was like really great. And he says it total straight face, and he's just
Yeah.
like, that's what I'm calling it, or Chavi. And I was like, great, we're looking at it, we're like, it's Javi,
Yeah.
So it's all good.
it was so good.
Good
So
actors.
good.
Yeah, they're great actors.
But like this whole Meadows case, I still want to know. I'm hoping we find out in 9 and 10. Like, I know we've talked about he probably got involved with drugs or whatever it was. I really want to know exactly why they killed Meadows.
Yeah.
Like
what
why
is
the
it they have
heck did they?
against him?
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna take a
Keep
sip. I was
drinking,
like,
take
but
a
you don't have anything left in there.
There is nothing in this cup anymore,
He's
guys.
just gonna keep doing this when there's a
Is there
spoiler.
wine? Is there wine?
So, now everyone's alert, and Dobbs takes off, and comes to find out, Dobbs doesn't even have a family. The wife and the children
Creepy.
were all fake. Everything was a lie.
Creepy.
Yeah, and now
If
he's
you
The
all
pictures
weird
are
somewhere.
alive. Yeah.
Like a
Did you
big
Photoshop
weirdo.
him in? He's, like, creepy.
And
I felt
they-
like it was like one of those Sears, when you buy the frame, it's like
It
your
was
family.
already-
Yeah.
I think
No,
he
it
kind of
probably was.
we don't. That's what it says. What was his wife's name? Like Cynthia or
Oh, I don't even
Oh, I can't even remember what her
But,
name was.
but she
Yeah,
was like, I
wife.
haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
So he's off at a beach somewhere, and Moreno's preparing to be off at a beach somewhere because he sends his girlfriend off, and he says he's gonna walk to Baja because he walked through Afghanistan. He can walk anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, they even figured out that was the boat and changed the name. He went even to those links of changing the name of his boat,
Yeah.
knowing he was going to escape.
Yeah.
It's wild, but we just have to wrap it up here because we're running out of time. But I want to get to the KTK.
Okay. Oh.
So towards the end of the episode, a cop calls and says that they have the KTK in custody.
These guys.
And I was just like, no way.
He's
Everyone's
slick.
taking this way too lightly. This would be a way bigger deal. It wouldn't just result in we have the KTK up in here, but we never really saw who they had in custody, did we?
We saw a quick shot of him, and I think it was actually him.
It was.
Was I right? Yes.
Such
yes,
a
yes.
wonderful microphone.
No, but I don't think it was because then
They let him go.
No.
The
No.
news
Oh,
when
no.
I don't
no,
want
they
to
don't.
tell too much.
when the news released the information about the KTK,
He was
we saw
sitting
this
there.
man cleaning his sneakers or doing whatever.
Saying no.
And then he was like, they were talking about all the kills he had and all the cases he had been involved in, and he laughed at it. He was like, oh, not even close, or whatever he said. So I obviously have a feeling that
all coming
whoever
together.
they have in custody is not the KTK. Obviously, it was this man who was cleaning his sneakers on his couch. But
but the fact that he went to the actual panel, what was it? The panel of
The town hall.
Yes,
The town
thank
hall.
you.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking at the town hall, and he gets up and has the audacity to talk about the KTK as if it wasn't him. That was him, right?
No, so that
No,
was
that
the guy that they arrested. But that was the guy that they arrested.
They
Remember
look
the first?
very similar.
The guy that they arrested was the guy that got up and said, "You should be blah blah blah," you know, to everything.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, if I remember correctly, the guy who was shining his shoes. But I'm not saying the guy who's shining his shoes is the KTK killer.
Oh. So it's not. I want to take that as it's not him.
No, I didn't say that. I did not say that.
Potting plants the other day,
us
right?
I'm purposely, because you got 2 more episodes and you get to figure this out, you know?
Guys, this is intense. I can't handle it.
These 2 episodes left us off on a huge cliffhanger. Next episode, we have to find out who the KTK killer is.
Yes.
Who is in custody? What's going to happen to Edgar? And where are Dobbs and Moreno at?
4 open cases still. We're on episode 8.
We got to wrap up Holland at some point. Like,
Holland,
you know,
yes.
that has to, yeah. So.
And
A lot of
Irving, is he
loose
gonna
ends
stay?
to
Is he
tie
gonna
up.
stay as chief? Like, we don't know if he's gonna
know.
leave. He got hot and heavy, like I said earlier.
Got a little something.
A lot of people aren't happy with the way he's running things, so I wonder
Clearly.
what his future in the force is going to be like.
So you basically have 2 more hours for all of this to wrap up.
All of this.
Do you think
Yes.
we'll do it?
I have a feeling we'll probably be left off on some type of cliffhanger, but I'm looking forward to how they're going to wrap things up.
Yeah. And even with his daughter, like he has his daughter with
Grace.
with Grace.
Yeah.
So like I feel like that's almost foreshadowing. Like, are they gonna come
Yeah.
after her? Like, there's a lot going on, man.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Definitely tune in next episode because we're covering the last 2 and we're gonna break it all down and segue into the next season. Again, I'm Olivia Gabaree. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter, The Real OG.
And I'm Candace Cruz, and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Candace R. Cruz. And thank you to our lovely guest.
Thank you. And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DaJuan Johnson. That's it.
That's it.
I was like,
That's it.
but you guys have fun like handles, so I didn't know that.
Okay, thank you so much, guys. We'll see you next week for the finale.
Woohoo. Thanks, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later. You got it.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.